Welcome to Women in Nebraska. I'm Shauna Dorsey with my co-host,
Janae Lynn.
Great. Thanks for being here. And we have an awesome guest, as we usually do. This is a 10-minute format. We're going to talk to Candice real quick and get this late, scoop or whatever on her background and what she's up to today, what she's looking forward to in the future, and then pick one of these date night cards and see how that goes. It's random.
I like that. Okay.
Yeah, it's fun.
All right. So
sounds good.
Welcome.
Thank you.
And you are?
My name is Candice Price, and I feel honored to be on the show. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. So can you tell us a little bit about your background? So not from Nebraska, and you're a super Nebraska fan. So would love to hear about it.
That is right. So not from Nebraska, though. I did live here when I was younger. I lived in Lincoln in the late 80s. My dad actually coached at UNL. Cool. And then we continued to travel because he continued to coach. So we moved to Florida. So when you talk to most of my friends and family, they know I'm from Florida because that's where I grew up. And so that's where I was until graduating high school, and then left and went to college at University of Oklahoma. Mm-hmm. And then from there, got picked up by Union Pacific Railroad, went to Houston first, and then that's how I ended up in Omaha. So the railroad.
That's amazing. I have to know, who do you cheer for during college football season?
So funny enough, though the University of Oklahoma got my money, I'm still a Hurricane fan. So at heart, most people don't know that I'm still a Hurricane fan. But after going to the spring game down in Lincoln here just in April, I absolutely loved it. So we'll see what happens this year.
Yeah. That makes sense. So you are an entrepreneur.
Yes.
And you have a business. Can you tell us about your business and how you got into it?
Sure. So Home Team Auto Sales, I'm the co-owner of that along with Ron Devers. So I'm currently the only Black woman licensed auto dealer in the state. Amazing. I got into that simply because I wanted to actually do real estate. Okay. And so this is even when I was working for the railroad, wanted to do real estate, didn't have the capital. And I said, you know what I do have? I have money to buy a few cars.
Smart.
So I started buying a few cars here or there, fixing those up. And then as soon as I was separated from the railroad, I was like, I want to do this full time. I want to become licensed. I want to be an auto dealer. I want to change the way car sales are done. Mm-hmm. So, big hopes, big dreams. And so that's what I'm working towards now. That's what I'm working on. So we've been in business now. We're in our 6th year.
Wow.
We're located right at the intersection of 60th and Sorensen. Mm-hmm. Just recently expanding. So we're at the corner, but we've also purchased the building right next door. They just completed the work on that, the interior and exterior, just about a week ago. And so we're just excited to keep growing and thriving and, being a part of the community.
That's fantastic.
Wow. Okay. I have a lot of questions.
And me too. Yeah. So
tell me about changing auto sales.
Same.
What does
That's
that mean?
my question. Yes.
Changing it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, what I want to do, so most people know of buy here, pay here dealers, or the used car dealer. It almost has the connotation of a lawyer. But what's so funny is we need them. We need lawyers. They do good work also. Just sometimes we've had bad experiences, negative experiences. The car industry is the same way because there have been those that have taken advantage. Whether it's through interest rates or, the price of the vehicles, the quality of the vehicles. And so we said there has to be a good way to do this, still be able to stay in business and make money because that's your fiduciary duty in a for-profit business. Mm-hmm. You're not going to be there if you don't make money, but you should be able to do this in a fair way and help. And so because of the community we're located in, which is North Omaha, which is underserved, under-resourced, we know that there has to be a better way of doing things. And so that's what we've been working towards. And we've just had a lot of help doing that, a lot of partners along the way, a lot of friends. And so we're thankful for that. So here we are.
That's fantastic. So tell us about one of your, and I'm sure you have many, but one of your favorite success stories, because I would imagine that when someone gets the mobility, this happens to be a literal example of it. But as their lives improve through even this offering, there's that trickle effect. So, yeah.
Well, some of our favorites, of course, are returning customers. We absolutely love those. I have a couple stories that I can think of in particular relating directly to Home Team Auto Sales. Mm-hmm. We had a mom that came in. We actually knew the family through my daughter. The high school she attended, one of her children attended there. And she had 2 kids who were younger who actually were not going to school. They'd been having issues with truancy. And that's simply because they lived far enough away where they should still have to walk. They didn't qualify for the bus, but in order to walk, they'd have to go across the interstate. And so she didn't feel that was safe for them. Definitely understandable. There's an interstate that goes right through certain communities within North Omaha, certain neighborhoods in North Omaha. And so they hadn't been going to school. She didn't have a car, and they didn't qualify for the bus just because they were just close enough to the school. And so we were able to help get them into transportation. Once we were, able to get ourselves in a position where we could do a little more in-house financing and in-house lending, which we play the bank. And so being able to do that, in a fair way to be able to help. And then in addition to that, one of my other favorites that we're able to do now is help people build their credit or begin having credit. So a lot of times buy here, pay here, or used car dealers and the smaller lots do not report to the credit bureaus. In all honesty, they typically only report if something happens negatively. If they actually have to collect the vehicle, repossess the vehicle, then that gets reported, but never all your good payments. The problem with that is we always say, but you should get to home ownership. You need to own a home. That's the way to wealth. That's the way to close the wealth gap. Well, how do you own a home? The first thing you're going to do is check your credit. And so if you don't have a way of actually building credit by showing all your good payment history, typically a lot of people in our community are renters. Your rent does not show up, but clearly you're paying it on time or you wouldn't have a roof over your head. And you're paying more than a mortgage so that someone else can pay theirs. And so what did we do? We were able to travel out to Vegas to find a company that's actually from Texas that would finance our customers here in Nebraska that may not have the credit, that would be needed in a traditional lot. So now their payments are reported to all 3 major credit bureaus. And I think that's one of our most major success stories is being able to actually help people get to home ownership through their transportation.
Yeah, love it.
Thank
you.
It's
the thing that I find so fascinating about the women that we've met on this series so far is that they are like me, like you, like make a way, find a way people. We just get it done.
That's right. I appreciate being included in the mix.
You are 100%.
Thank you. And then I also co-own Sapphire Grill, which is a food truck. We just now recently have allowed another entrepreneur to get into the truck so they can start their entrepreneur journey without having to go and make that major investment. And so Sapphire Grill is also located at 60th and Sorensen, but we also do major events. So typically in past years when I've been running it, my business partner have been running it, we do College World Series, even the State Fair, Native Omaha Days, which is coming up this year. Now it's stationary. And so Damian Bush is in there. He's a pit master, grill master, and he does smoking good eats. And so he has all kind of great smoked foods. If you love brisket or, smoked chicken, he does all of that. And so he's in a food truck now with us still owning it. And so now we're able to give some opportunities as well that we've received from others.
That's fantastic. And when is Native Omaha Days? Have you ever been?
No, but now I want to go. Yeah.
You definitely should go. So it kind of crosses over. So it's the very last weekend of July.
Okay.
And so one of the biggest days is July 29th. It's a Saturday. And so that's kind of the culmination. Everybody comes to town for it. There are huge events all week long. So it really goes that Monday through Sunday. But the weekend days are really big. So it's a huge family reunion for North Omaha.
Wow.
Make sure to post this in time for that.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
That's awesome.
Oh, I love that.
What have you learned about yourself through business ownership? I mean, and sounds like 2 very different businesses completely. Yeah.
That I love people. I love getting to interact and, mix and mingle with different people. We meet a different person from a different walk of life literally every day. So I appreciate that aspect. Also that, I'm resilient. We always say it about children, they're so resilient and typically it's an unfortunate situation that has happened. But even through good things, learning as we're making our way and how tough it is to be a small business owner, especially in the beginning when you're trying to figure out capital, and maybe you don't qualify for some of the things that are out there. We all know what it is to, be a small minority, or woman-owned business and how difficult it is to achieve and, get capital. So just learning that friendships and relationships are truly, genuinely what matters most. And so that's what we've been able to build along the way. We do a lot of service. I sit on several nonprofit boards. I literally just left from the Leadership Omaha graduation for the newest class 45. I'm on their curriculum committee. And so that's been great. That's through the chamber. And so we've just learned that instead of when you don't have money, you should figure out something else. And so what do you have? You have relationships. So we haven't had to do as much marketing or spend as much as in marketing because we have friends like Shauna who invite you on podcasts and let you talk about your business. So that's appreciated.
Yeah. And I think that it's so important for us to do that for each other. Like you're helping a new business launch without investing a lot of capital. We are thinking, how do we promote women who are doing amazing things? And that's just important to us as people who are passionate about uplifting others. So we need more of that.
Thank you for doing that. You know, hopefully you guys get to reap some of the reward and accolades from the work that you do and the time that you put in after already having worked all day.
Yeah.
So, I appreciate it.
It's actually the benefits in the conversation.
Yeah.
I love that.
So that's kind of how we see it.
Labor of love.
Yeah. Oops, sorry.
Terrific.
Sorry, Richard. Anyway, thank you for being here. You've been amazing.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes.